Today I want to talk about clearing the energy in a space between client sessions. As therapists, this is something that we easily forget. Maybe we've got a busy schedule, one client after another, or maybe we've just got busy lives and a lot of things on our plate. But when you take the time to do even just one of these very simple practices that we're going to be talking about today, it's going to re-energize the space. It's going to break up that energy that you can feel after a client session sometimes. And this can even be used after you've had a big argument with somebody. Maybe one of your kids has had a meltdown and you can feel that raw energy in the space. Maybe you've had a wobble and you feel like the space is really charged. These very simple practices that will take less than 5 minutes are really going to help to break up that energy and refresh the space for the next chapter, the next client, whatever that might be. So you've probably already noticed that after some clients, after some sessions, the energy in the room might feel very heavy, dense, even negatively charged, sad, uncomfortable, sticky. You are sensitive to the energy of your clients and you have an awareness of what energy has been left in a space. Now, in a way, that's a good thing, because if the energy has been left in the space and you can sense that yourself, then it means that the energy hasn't been taken with that client, that they've let go of something during that session with you. So today we're going to be discussing 3 really short practices. They'll take less than 5 minutes to do, and you can just choose one. You don't need to do all 3. I'm just giving you some options. Because I always like to go with what I feel. Sometimes I feel like one energy clearing sequence is more appropriate for what I'm feeling than another. So what we're really doing with these short practices is we are bringing the space back into alignment. We're filling the space with clearer energy, more positive vibration, so that the next person who comes into the space is going to feel that. So the first of these practices is using sound to clear the space. Now I'm going to be using a little bell. Look at this cute little bell, it's so cute. I just picked it up in a crystal shop. I was so lucky to find it because there are bigger versions that you can get. You could probably get this online. It was pretty cheap, it cost me €8. And it's just got a beautiful little sound. You could use tuning forks, you could use cymbals. Yeah, go with your feelings. If you haven't got any of those things in your home, don't panic. You could even use a track online, like a YouTube track of chimes, of even singing bowls. But of course, having a physical instrument of some kind is going to feel more powerful. But the most important thing about this little sequence is not so much the instrument, but the intention behind the instrument that you're using to cleanse the space. So with my bell, I'm going to stand in the middle of the room. I'm going to ring it a few times just to feel that tone, feel that sound. And then I'm going to set an intention and take a big heart breath and feel that intention settle into the space. Okay. With this sound, I cleanse, rejuvenate, and raise the vibration of this space. You can imagine the energy in the space breaking up, dissolving any negative energy that you felt was there before. You can repeat this if it feels like it's helpful. And once you've done it in the center of the room, you're going to do it in each of the corners of the room, or as close to the corner as you can, depending on what things you have in the room. All 4 corners, and repeating the same thing, ringing the bell, setting the intention. With this sound, I cleanse, rejuvenate, and raise the vibration of this space. You might want to close your eyes when you do this. You might want to say a different kind of affirmation. Really go with your inner wisdom here. Feel what words feel right for the client that you just had. Maybe you want to be more specific. I cleanse the sadness and the pain that has been felt in this room. Please allow it to dissolve along with this sound. You can choose the words that feel right for the cleansing. And together with the sound of the bell or the sound from your YouTube track or whatever it is that you're using, you're helping to break up the energy that has been stagnant or stuck in that space. The next cleansing technique we're going to talk about is smudging, which I'm sure you will have heard about before. It's a very useful technique for quick cleansing, again, because all it requires is that you have a particular herb. I'm using salvia or white sage, it's also called. I also have some like a stick that's called palo santo, which is great for burning and cleansing. You could also use incense for this cleansing exercise. The reason why I don't always use smudging when I'm cleansing a space is because you really need to make sure that there's a good movement of air. You have to have windows, a window that opens, or even a door that you can open which allows access to fresh air in some way, because otherwise it can get pretty smoky. And it's not good for you to fill the space with smoke so that you can't breathe. Now, the technique with smudging is a little bit different to what we did with the sound. And with the smudging, we're going to light the herb or the incense, whatever it is that you're using. Like I said, I won't do it in this space, otherwise it's going to fill it with smoke. It smells lovely though. And with this sequence, you're making brushing movements. So you might do from side to side, you might work in a circle around the room, you might start in the middle of the room and work to the corners like we did with the bell, or you might just work your way around the room and make this brushing movement. You could do big sweeps, whatever feels right with the smoke, with the herb, with the incense. Here we're using smell. You could say something like, I'm dissolving and banishing the negative energy from this space. I'm dissolving and banishing the negative energy from this space. You're going to move around the whole space. You can point it up to the corners if you want, to different corners of the room. You might specifically work around a client's chair where they've been sitting or lying down to really shift the energy and dissolve any residual energy that's been left into that space. And it's going to leave a lovely fragrance. And of course, like I mentioned, you might need to make sure that you've got a window open or a door open so that that smoke can move out and move around and really take away that negative vibration that was in the space. All of these cleansing sequences that we're talking about today can be as short or as long as you want. If you've got more time, if you feel like the client was particularly heavy or the argument was particularly intense, you might want to take longer. Go with your inner wisdom. Go with that inner feeling of what you think will be right for this particular space. These sequences can be added to your practice and make a big difference to how you feel, but also to how your clients feel when they come into that space. The last sequence that I want to talk to you about is a visualization. Now, you could also use an amethyst crystal for this visualization if you have one. And what we're going to be doing is we are calling in the purifying violet flame. This is a very old technique. I don't know where it originally came from. I should probably Google it. But this idea of a purifying violet flame is often used for cleansing, for protection, for reconnecting, for re-energizing a space. You can close your eyes for this one, and you're going to imagine a small violet flame in the center of the room, and imagine it getting bigger. And then you're going to say this short affirmation or something else that you feel would be relevant. All negative thoughts, ideas, emotions, feelings that have permeated this space are now transmuted into positive, calm, and compassionate influences for whoever enters the space. You can imagine the violet flame getting bigger and bigger until it really fills the space, and imagine it purifying, cleansing, just burning away all of that negativity, all of that heaviness that's been left. and transmuting it into healing, positive, supportive energy that will hold your clients, that will hold the space when people come into it. Keep imagining that purifying violet flame just flickering, burning away, its beautiful violet light, cleansing the space. And then when you're ready, just imagine the violet flame just reducing, coming back down to its tiny size that you started with. And you might say thank you. The more that you incorporate some of these simple cleansing sequences into your practice, the more that you're going to feel like you're taking back the power. Negative emotions have a way of sticking to us. It's almost like we get used to them, and sometimes we feel irritated and frustrated, or we feel a bit negative after a client session, and we don't realize that we can actually help to shift that. It does take a conscious effort to go, oh, hang on a minute, I've picked this up from the person that I've been with, and I have a choice. I can let it go. I can transmute it into a different energy. The work that you're doing is so important, but it's equally important that you look after yourself, that you look after your energy. If you're doing clients back to back, then just think about creating a little bit of space in between, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. You can grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and you can do one of these mini sequences to help reset the space for your next client. I'd love to hear if you already have been working with any of these kind of practices. Maybe you have your own version. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm now offering some mini astrology readings by voice message. It's about what I can fit in at the moment. These are short readings, about 20 minutes, where I'm going to personally look at your birth chart and give you some insights that are empowering, that just help you to see yourself, the energies that you were born with, the energies that you were born to master in a new light. So if you are interested in that, then the link is below. And of course, I ask you to subscribe and definitely comment, because what I enjoy more than anything is communicating with you, having a conversation, and especially supporting each other as we're all trying to stay connected to our inner power, to that wisdom that we have inside. See you next time.